you know, he pretty much said, I know Jesus through my mama.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Through her praying for me, through her. So I kind of feel like that sat in my spirit.
It's funny that you said that because I was telling someone the other day, my grandmother, may she rest, she said, one time she told me, I called home, I was locked up, and I called home, and I forget what we were talking about, but before I got off the phone, she said, I'm glad you in there. And I didn't understand what she was saying when she said it. But when she got off the phone, when I got off the phone, I understood. And this is what she said. She said, I'm glad you in there. Because now, when I hear those sirens, them ambulance sirens, I know that's not you out there.
That's cold.
So it's it took me a while to understand that.
Right.
And to piggyback what off you saying, their prayers and their strengths is why we here, man. Okay.
All right, so it's interesting what you said. Charleston White actually said before that prison is the best preservation tool for a black man. Mean by that is saying that, you know, prison actually does the black man good, and a lot of the times people come out of prison with a changed attitude, a changed mindset. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that.
How did prison change you? Like, tell me how you thought before going in and then after going in, okay. or after coming out. Sorry.
Okay. Before I went in, or while I was down there, in the beginning stages, I was on some, when I get out, I'm going to do it better, or I'm going to do it slicker, or I'm going to do it this way where I won't get caught. But as time goes on and those years go to stacking, your mind, and you're growing up. Because I was young, and so I'm getting older. And so I'm coming into, I guess, the person that I was supposed to be.
Right.
Mentally, in that environment. But, no, when I got out, no, my mind was, I was on living and trying to raise my kid and, you know, be.
I hear a lot of street dudes say this, and I just want to get clarification on it.
Okay.
Is prison that bad to where you wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy?
Yeah, I wouldn't wish it on nobody. Being locked up, I wouldn't wish that on no one.
Right.
I mean, I don't even like seeing animals in cages. And some of them need to be. You know?
Right.
Just like some people need to be.
Right.
But I wouldn't wish it on nobody, man, because that's a inhumane way of living. Because basically, really, I was talking to this woman one time, man, and I don't know why she brought it up, but she said, people who have been in prison, they really are, with their mind, it's something going on with their mind, like, because you're being told when to do this, or when to do that, or when to eat, or go here, or stand there, walk with you, you know what I'm saying? Sort of like, I can't think of the word for it, but it's like you,
programming?
like on some, you really probably could get a check, because that's not the way you're supposed to live.
Right. So you saying you might can develop PTSD from that,
so to speak.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Wow. I never thought of it like that, because you're right. Like, so.
Yeah, and for a person to be able to go down there and do multiple years, 20, 50, you know, those type of years, and come back with your mind intact,
yeah,
and then get out here and live productively, that says a lot about that person.
Yeah.
You strong-willed, you strong-minded.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
for sure.
So that reminds me of somebody named Fleece Johnson. You ever heard of Fleece Johnson?
No.
Okay. Fleece Johnson, he went viral, honestly, before viral really was a thing because he was on MSNBC.
Okay.
They did a news special on him back in the early 2000s.
Okay.
He was locked up in, I believe, Kentucky or Kansas, one of them K states. But I believe it's Kentucky. And what was so shocking about what he said.
So what are they gonna do? You won't let them have a woman.
Oh, the booty bandit.
Yeah, the booty warrior.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know,
Okay, yeah.
so you know he out now, right?
Is that right?
He out now, and he's actually been doing YouTube videos.
Okay.
There's a guy out there named A Humble Spirit who's been interviewing him, and they've been going viral because he's able to tell his story. And he went in there, I believe, at 15 or 16, and this is before he had ever really experienced a woman.
Okay.
And so, you know, he kind of talks about how his first sexual experience was with a dude in there.
Right.
And he talks about, and it just reminded me of that because you saying when you get to doing them years, mentally, like what happened. What he talks about though is like after year 10, you know, it's all the other methods that men have to cope with not having women in there. You know, it starts to become not enough, and your mind starts weakening, and you know he fell victim.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so his story is real interesting because first of all, he never even thought he was gonna get out. He thinks he only got out because all the things he's done, like it's documented too. Like that's one of his favorite sayings, and it's famous now, is that it's documented because he didn't destroyed millions of dollars worth of property. Okay. He didn't messed off a lot of their guards. Like he one of them that's gonna fight the guards. Okay. They throw him in the hole. They done all kind of inhumane stuff to him, and he really is exposing them.
Right.
And he feels like the only reason he got out is because they felt like he would be publicly humiliated, being that he is the booty warrior. Okay. So somebody like Fleece Johnson, what's your reaction to somebody like him?
Man, first of all, man, whatever floats your boat, you know, but just to speak on that and how I feel about it, it's women in prison, man. It's women guards in prison.
Right.
So a man, and you were liking men before you went.
Okay. Okay.
Because I mean, it's women in there.
Right.
And I mean, hey, man, shoot the shot.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?